I stared at my phone, watching as birthday wishes flooded Bella's social media. Not for her birthday, for mine. My sister had posted a selfie with the caption, "Happy birthday to my amazing big sis," and somehow managed to make my birthday about herself. Again. My name is Sophia, and I've spent 24 years being the backdrop to my sister's spotlight. Today was just another reminder. "Sophia, come down. We have a surprise." Mom's voice echoed up the stairs. I already knew what kind of surprise it would be, the kind that wasn't meant for me. I trudged downstairs, plastering on the smile I'd perfected over years of being the mature one. The living room was empty, except for Dad reading his newspaper on the couch. "Where's the surprise?" I asked, though I already knew better than to hope. "Oh!" Mom's eyes widened. "Right. Bella, honey, come in." My sister burst through the front door, her perfectly styled hair bouncing as she jumped up and down. "Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!" Behind her in the driveway sat a brand new Tesla Model 3, complete with a massive red bow on the hood. "Happy graduation, sweetheart." Dad finally looked up from his paper, beaming. "You've earned it." I felt my chest tighten. That's the surprise? "Isn't it amazing?" Bella squealed, dangling the keys. "Mom, Dad, you're the best." "We're so proud of you, honey," Mom gushed, hugging Bella. "Graduating a semester early is such an achievement." I cleared my throat. "You do remember what today is, right?" Mom looked confused for a moment. "Thursday?" "It's my birthday," I said quietly. The silence that followed was deafening. "Oh!" Mom's hand flew to her mouth. "Oh, Sophia, I'm so sorry. With all the excitement about Bella's graduation and the car, we'll make it up to you this weekend," Dad added quickly, not meeting my eyes. "Right," I said, my voice steady despite the storm brewing inside. "Like last year's makeup dinner that never happened, or the one before that?" "Don't be dramatic," Bella rolled her eyes. "It's just a birthday. Besides, you're old enough not to need all that attention anymore." I looked at my sister, really looked at her. 4 years younger, yet somehow always the priority. Always the star. Always the one who deserved the Tesla while I drove a 10-year-old Honda with a failing transmission. "You're right, Bella," I said, surprising everyone, including myself, with my calm tone. "I am old enough to stop expecting things to change." "Sophia," Mom started, but I was already heading upstairs. "Enjoy your car," I called over my shoulder. "I have work to do." Back in my room, I opened my laptop and pulled up the business plan I'd been working on for months. My hands were shaking as I logged into my savings account, the one my family knew nothing about, the one where I'd been squirreling away every extra dollar from my day job. My phone buzzed, a text from Adrian. "Happy birthday. Still on for coffee tomorrow?" I typed back, "Yes, and I'm ready to talk about that investment opportunity you mentioned." Another buzz, this time from Alex, my mentor from the online entrepreneurship forum. "Happy birthday. Did you review those market analysis documents I sent?" I smiled, a real smile this time. "Yes, and I'm ready to move forward. Let's meet next week." Standing up, I walked to my mirror and stared at my reflection. The good daughter, the responsible one, the backdrop. Not anymore. My phone buzzed again. Probably more birthday wishes on Bella's post. I ignored it and instead opened my business email draft to Alex. "Dear Alex, I've reviewed everything and I'm ready to launch. The website designs are complete, marketing strategy is set, and initial inventory is ordered. Let's schedule that meeting and make this official. Best, Sophia." My finger hovered over the send button as I heard the excited squeals from downstairs, Bella probably showing off her new car on FaceTime to her friends. "Enough is enough," I whispered, and hit send. The quiet click of my bedroom door locking felt like sealing a pact with myself. In the distance, I could hear the purr of a Tesla engine starting up. But for the first time in my life, I didn't care about what was happening downstairs. I had my own engine to start. "You're seriously doing this?" Adrian stirred his coffee. eyes wide as I showed him my laptop screen. Like actually doing this? Already started, I said, clicking through my newly launched website. The first batch of designs is ready to go live tomorrow. We sat in our usual corner of the local coffee shop, away from the morning rush. 3 weeks had passed since my birthday, and I'd been working every spare moment on my business. But custom phone cases? Isn't that market saturated? Adrian leaned closer to examine my designs. Not like this. I pulled up my signature collection. See these? They're all hand-drawn, incorporating personal photos into abstract art. People send their favorite memories, and I turn them into something unique. Adrian whistled. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. But how are you funding this? I've saved enough for the initial inventory and website costs. Plus, I hesitated, then grinned. Alex is investing. Alex? The tech mogul Alex? The one who mentored you in that online forum? The same. We met yesterday. He loves the concept and thinks it could scale big. Adrian sat back, shaking his head. And your family has no idea? They think I'm working overtime at the design firm. I took a sip of my latte. Mom actually praised me last night for being so dedicated to my little job. Speaking of your family, Adrian nodded toward the door. Bella walked in, followed by her friend Angela. I quickly closed my laptop. Sophia? Bella spotted us. What are you doing here? Don't you have work? It's my lunch break, I said smoothly. Hi, Angela. Angela gave me a dismissive wave, already focused on her phone. Whatever, Bella shrugged. Mom wants to know if you're coming to my car photo shoot this weekend. Angela's dad is letting us use his professional studio. Can't. Working. Again? Bella pouted. Mom's going to be upset. She says you're getting antisocial. My phone buzzed. An email notification. Order number 1 confirmed. My heart skipped a beat. I have to take this, I said, standing up. Work call. Outside the coffee shop, I pulled up the order details. Someone wanted a custom case featuring their grandmother's garden transformed into an art piece. The order note read, Love the concept. Can't wait to see what you create. For sale? Adrian had followed me out. I nodded, unable to speak. This is real, Soph. You're really doing it. I am, I whispered. I really am. My phone buzzed again. Alex. Saw your first order. Remember what we discussed. Document everything. This is just the beginning. I thought back to our meeting yesterday in his sleek downtown office. Your designs are exceptional, he had said, examining my portfolio. But more importantly, you understand the emotional connection people have with their memories. That's what will set you apart. I've been invisible my whole life, I told him. I know what it's like to want something meaningful, something that proves you matter. Then let's make sure you're invisible no more. He'd signed the investment contract right there. Another buzz. Mom. Sophia, please reconsider the photo shoot. It would mean so much to your sister. I put my phone away without responding. You okay? Adrian touched my arm. Better than okay, I said. I need to get back to my little job so I can work on this order tonight. Need help? Actually, I pulled out my tablet and showed him my production schedule. I could use someone to help manage orders and customer service once this takes off. Someone I trust. Adrian's eyes lit up. Are you offering me a job? More like a partnership. 20% stake if you're interested. Are you serious? Dead serious. Alex suggested I'd need help scaling, and there's no one I trust more than you. Adrian hugged me so hard, he nearly knocked over a passing customer. Sorry, we both called out, then burst into laughter. Back at my desk at the design firm, I opened my personal email. 30 new subscribers to my website's newsletter. 5 more people following my business Instagram. My phone buzzed yet again. Bella. Mom's really upset you're not coming. Stop being so selfish. I started typing a response, then deleted it. Instead, I opened my design software and began working on Order Shik-Ho-Oh-1. By the time I finished, it would be a masterpiece, proof that being invisible didn't mean being powerless. As I worked, I could hear my coworkers discussing lunch plans, client meetings, weekend schedules, normal life continuing around me while I secretly built something extraordinary. Just wait, I whispered to myself, adding the final touches to my design. Just wait and see. 200 orders this month. Adrian high-fived me across our makeshift office in my bedroom. And the reviews are insane. I refreshed my business email, watching more notifications pour in. 3 months had passed since that first order, and things were moving faster than I'd imagined. Look at this one, Adrian read from his screen. I cried when I opened the package. My late husband's favorite fishing spot turned into this beautiful abstract design. It's like seeing our memories through new eyes. That's your magic, Soph. A knock at my door made us both jump. Sophia? Mom's voice. Dinner's ready. Adrian, you're welcome to join us. Thanks, Mrs. Wright, Adrian called back, quickly minimizing our order management software. I slipped my laptop under my pillow. Coming! Downstairs, Bella was already holding court at the dinner table, Angela at her side. Great. So anyway, Bella continued as we sat down, the Tesla Club is hosting this huge charity event next month, and they want me to be one of the featured drivers. That's wonderful, honey, Mom beamed. We'll need to get you a new outfit. Dad nodded absently, focused on his phone. What about you, Sophia? Angela asked with fake sweetness. Still working late at that design place? Something like that. I took a bite of pasta. She's always working. Bella rolled her eyes. It's like you don't even live here anymore. I pay rent, I reminded her. Speaking of which, here's this month's check, Dad. Dad finally looked up. Actually, about that, your mother and I were thinking it might be time for you to find your own place. Bella could use your room for her Tesla Club meetings. I nearly choked on my pasta. Adrian's fork clattered against his plate. Excuse me? Don't be dramatic, Mom waved her hand. We just think it would be good for you to have some independence. You're making decent money at your job and... When? I cut her off. Well, the club meetings start next month, so... Perfect. I stood up. I'll be out in 2 weeks. Sophia, sit down, Mom frowned. We're not finished discussing this. Actually, we are. Adrian, can you help me look at apartments tomorrow? Absolutely, he said, standing with me. Don't be ridiculous, Bella scoffed. Where are you going to find a decent place on your salary? My phone buzzed. Another order notification, then another. I'll manage, I said. Back in my room, Adrian pulled up real estate listings while I checked our sales dashboard. Holy shit, he whispered. Soph, look at this. Our monthly revenue had just crossed 6 figures. Alex was right, I said, pulling up my banking app. We're going to need a real office soon. And I know just the place. Adrian turned his screen toward me. That new development downtown, they have retail office combo units, perfect for a showroom and workspace. Another knock. Sophia? Dad this time. Can we talk? Come in. Dad entered, looking uncomfortable. Listen, about dinner, your mother didn't mean... It's fine, I cut him off. You're right. It's time for me to move out. But can you afford it? I know your job doesn't pay that much and... Dad, I met his eyes. Trust me, I can afford it. He shifted, noticing the spreadsheets on our screens. What are you two working on? Just some freelance stuff. Adrian jumped in smoothly. Extra income, you know? Dad nodded slowly. Well, good. That's good. Being responsible with money is important. After he left, Adrian let out a breath. That was close. It won't matter soon, I said, pulling up the real estate listing again. Call them. Set up a viewing for tomorrow. What about your job? The design firm? I smiled, opening my resignation letter draft. Time for that to become my freelance work instead. My phone buzzed again. Bella. Mom's crying because of you. Why do you always have to make everything difficult? Then Mom, please be reasonable, sweetie. We're just trying to help. And finally, Alex, quarterly numbers look exceptional. Ready to take it to the next level? I looked around my room, at the walls that had witnessed years of being overshadowed, at the desk where I'd launched my escape, at the hidden laptop still processing orders. Send the real estate agent my info, I told Adrian. I'm ready. For the office? For everything. As Adrian made the call, I heard Bella's Tesla start up in the driveway, followed by Angela's loud laughter. Once, that sound would have made me feel small, invisible. Now it just made me smile. Because while they were heading to another club meeting, I was about to sign a lease on my future. And the best part? They still had no idea what was coming. And now, please welcome our next speaker at the Young Entrepreneurs Summit, the founder of Memoryscape Designs. I straightened my blazer, heart pounding as I walked onto the stage. 6 months since that forgotten birthday, and here I was, addressing a packed auditorium. Hi, I'm Sophia, I began, my voice steady despite the nerves, and I turn memories into art. From the front row, Alex gave me an encouraging nod. Adrian, manning our product display in the expo hall, had texted me a string of emoji encouragement just minutes before. The presentation flew by. Our growth metrics, customer testimonials, expansion plans. The audience leaned forward when I revealed our latest numbers. Over $500,000 in revenue last quarter. Questions? The moderator opened the floor. A woman in a sharp suit stood up. Your growth is impressive. Are you considering venture capital? We're actually, I started, but a familiar voice cut me off. Oh my God, Sophia. Angela stood at the back of the room, phone already recording. Next to her, Bella's mouth hung open. Keep it professional, I reminded myself. As I was saying, we're currently in talks with several investors, but maintaining our creative integrity is crucial. More questions followed, but I barely heard them. My sister's presence was like a spotlight I hadn't asked for, exactly what I'd been avoiding these past months. After the session, I tried to slip out the back, but Bella caught up. What the actual hell? She grabbed my arm. This is what you've been hiding? You're some kind of CEO now. Founder and creative director, actually, I corrected, gently removing her hand. Excuse me, I need to get back to our booth. Does Mom know about this? Is this why you moved out so fast? Why didn't you tell us? Bella, I have investors to meet. But I'm your sister. Yes, I turned to face her. The sister who got a Tesla for my birthday. The sister who needed my room for her car club. That sister. Angela appeared, still filming. This is wild. Wait till everyone sees. If you post that, I cut in, my lawyers will have it taken down before you can count your likes. Now, if you'll excuse me. I walked away, my heels clicking against the marble floor, leaving them staring after me. At our booth, Adrian was swamped with potential buyers and investors. There she is, he called out. Sophia, meet Marcus from Silicon Valley Partners. He's very interested in our expansion plans. The rest of the day passed in a blur of business cards and handshakes. By closing time, we had 3 potential investment offers and a major retail chain wanting to discuss exclusive partnerships. Drink, Adrian suggested as we packed up. You deserve it after today. Can't. Meeting Alex for dinner to discuss the offers. My phone had been buzzing non-stop since Bella's appearance. Mom, what's this about you running a company? Call me immediately. Dad, your mother is very upset. We need to talk. Bella, you're being ridiculous. Why are you acting like this? Angela, at least let me post about your success. I'm trying to help. You know you'll have to deal with them eventually, Adrian said gently, noticing my expression. I know, but not today. At the upscale restaurant, Alex was already waiting with a bottle of champagne. To the newest rising star in tech accessories, he raised his glass, and to proving everyone wrong. They showed up today, I told him, explaining the encounter. Perfect timing, actually. Alex pulled out his tablet. Look what just went live. He showed me the article, Memoryscape, how this 24-year-old turned personal photos into a $1 million business. It's trending, he smiled. Your family won't be able to ignore this one. My phone buzzed again, a text from an unknown number. Saw your presentation. Impressive work. Would love to discuss featuring you in our 30 under 30 list. Forbes. Alex, I said slowly. I may have mentioned you to some people, he winked. Success is the best revenge, but publicity makes it sweeter. Later that night, in my new apartment overlooking the city, I finally opened my family's messages. The latest was from Dad. Just saw the article. We had no idea. Can we meet? I walked to my home office, where a wall displayed our most popular designs. In the center hung my first creation, a swirling, abstract pattern based on a photo of my childhood bedroom, the one I'd been asked to vacate. My phone buzzed one last time. Bella. Mom's crying again, but this time I think they're different tears. I smiled, thinking of tomorrow's meetings, of our expansion plans, of the Forbes photo shoot being scheduled. Different tears indeed, I whispered, and turned off my phone. The cafe was my choice, neutral ground, public, and most importantly, with an easy escape route. I arrived early, ordering my usual latte and claiming a corner table where I could see the door. Mom and Dad walked in exactly on time, looking smaller somehow. Less intimidating than I remembered. Sophia, Mom reached for a hug, but I stepped back, gesturing to the chairs. Let's sit. They exchanged glances before settling in. Dad cleared his throat. You look different, he said. Success does that, I replied, watching Mom flinch. So you wanted to meet? We saw the Forbes article, Mom began, and the television segment, and the everything. Why didn't you tell us? When should I have told you? During Bella's car photo shoot? Or maybe while you were kicking me out of my room? We weren't kicking you out, Mom protested. We were just suggesting that I wasn't worth the space I occupied, I finished. Message received. Dad leaned forward. Sweetheart, we had no idea you were capable of all this. That's the problem, isn't it? You never bothered to find out what I was capable of. The cafe door chimed. Adrian walked in, right on schedule, my backup plan if things got too intense. Is that why you're doing this? Mom asked. To punish us? No. I took a sip of my latte. I'm doing this because I'm good at it. The fact that it makes you uncomfortable is just a bonus. Your sister is devastated, Mom tried again. She feels betrayed. Bella feels upstaged, I corrected. There's a difference. Speaking of stages, Dad pulled out his phone. We saw you're speaking at the National Business Innovation Conference next month. We thought maybe. You want to come? I finished. They nodded eagerly. The same way you came to my college graduation, or my first art show, or any of my birthdays? That's not fair, Mom's voice cracked. No, it wasn't fair. But life rarely is, right? Isn't that what you always told me when Bella got everything and I got nothing? Adrian caught my eye from across the cafe, raising an eyebrow. I shook my head slightly. I had this under control. We made mistakes, Dad admitted. But we're trying now. Now that I'm successful, now that I'm in magazines and on TV, now that people know who I am. You're our daughter. Mom reached for my hand. I pulled back. I have a meeting, I stood up. My assistant will send you tickets to the conference, front row, so everyone can see you being supportive parents. Isn't that what you want? Sophia, please. Mom's eyes welled up. We love you. You love what I've become, I corrected. There's a difference. As I walked toward the door, Dad called out, Will you at least come to dinner? Your sister, she misses you. I turned back. Bella doesn't miss me. She misses being the center of attention. Tell her she can have her old spotlight back. I've built my own. Adrian fell into step beside me outside. You okay? Never better. I checked my phone. The conference organizers want to know if I need extra tickets for family. What should I tell them? Tell them yes. I smiled. Let's give my family front row seats to what they missed all these years. My phone buzzed. A text from Bella. Mom's a mess after your meeting. Why are you being so cruel? Then another. BTW. Angela's dad knows someone at Forbes. Maybe they'd want to do a story about me too. I showed Adrian the messages, laughing. Some things never change. Speaking of change, he pulled up our sales dashboard. We just hit $2 million in monthly revenue. Alex wants to discuss international expansion. I looked back through the cafe window. Mom was crying into Dad's shoulder, her coffee untouched. Schedule the meeting with Alex, I said, and book that billboard on their drive to work. The one they'll see every morning? That's the one. Let's make sure they never forget what they overlooked. Another text from Bella. Fine, be that way, but don't expect me to support your little business. I typed back, don't worry, sis. I learned from the best how to succeed without family support. Adrian whistled. Cold. No, I watched my parents leave the cafe, shoulders slumped. Just honest. My phone buzzed one last time. Alex. Conference preparations on track. Ready to announce the expansion? I looked at the cafe, then at my office building gleaming in the distance, and finally at my parents' retreating figures. Tell them I'm ready, I replied, and make sure the photographers get my good side. Which is that? Adrian teased. The side my family never saw coming. And now, please welcome to the stage the founder and CEO of Memoryscape, speaking about revolutionizing personal tech accessories. The conference hall was packed, 3,000 people, and in the front row, exactly as planned, sat my family. Mom in her Sunday best, Dad in his only suit, and Bella, looking uncomfortable in business attire that still somehow managed to show too much skin. Thank you, I took the podium. Let me tell you about being invisible. The audience leaned in. 3 years ago, I was working at a design firm, creating other people's visions while my own gathered dust. I lived at home, paid rent for a room I was told I didn't deserve, and watched my dreams slip away. Mom shifted in her seat. Then I realized something. Being invisible doesn't mean being powerless. Sometimes it means having the perfect cover to build something extraordinary. I clicked to the first slide, my bedroom turned office from those early days. This is where Memoryscape began. Not in a Silicon Valley garage, but in a room I was told I needed to vacate for someone else's hobby. Dad coughed, looking down. Today, we're announcing our expansion into Europe and Asia. Our app launches next month, and we've partnered with 3 major phone manufacturers to offer our designs as premium options. Applause erupted. Bella's face had gone pale. But more importantly, I continued, we're launching the Memoryscape Foundation, providing grants to overlooked artists and entrepreneurs, because sometimes the most brilliant ideas come from the people nobody sees. The standing ovation was immediate. As I left the stage, Alex met me with a champagne flute. Brutal, he grinned. Brilliant, but brutal. Ms. Wright, a reporter pushed forward. Your family is here today. How do they feel about your success? I turned, camera-ready smile in place. Why don't we ask them? Mom stood frozen. Dad fumbled with his tie. But Bella, dear, predictable Bella, grabbed the moment. We're so proud, she gushed, reaching for my arm. I always knew my sister would... Actually, I stepped back. My family is experiencing my success exactly as I experienced their support, from a distance. The reporter's eyes widened. Are you saying... I'm saying some people prefer Tesla photo shoots to supporting their children's dreams. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have investors waiting. I walked away, hearing the furious scribbling of the reporter's pen. Sophia, Mom's voice called out. Please, just wait. I turned. For what? Another forgotten birthday? Another room I need to vacate? You're making a scene, Bella hissed. No, I'm making history. There's a difference. Adrian appeared with perfect timing. Sophia, the Japanese investors are ready. Your sister is trying to talk to you, Dad said firmly. And I'm trying to run a global company, I replied. Guess which one takes priority? When did you become so cold? Mom whispered. Around the same time you became so interested in my life. Funny how success changes people's perception, isn't it? Bella stepped forward. At least let me post about the expansion on my social media. I have followers who want to see your Tesla, I finished. No thanks. We have a marketing team. Ms. Wright? A young girl approached, clutching one of our phone cases. Could I get your autograph? Your story? It inspired me to start my own business. I smiled, genuinely this time. What's your name? Sarah. I was invisible too. Not anymore, I signed her case. And neither am I. Looking back at my family, I added, sometimes the best revenge is becoming everything people said you couldn't be. Revenge? Dad's voice cracked. Is that what this is? No, I straightened my jacket. This is business. The revenge was just a bonus. Adrian touched my arm. The investors? Right, I nodded. Mom, Dad, Bella, thanks for coming. The exit is clearly marked, just like my success. As I walked away, I heard Bella's voice. She's just jealous because... Shut up, Bella, Dad cut her off. Just shut up. In the meeting room, Alex was already charming the investors. Ah, here she is, the woman who turned personal photos into global art. Speaking of photos, I smiled, pulling up our new campaign. Wait until you see what's next. My phone buzzed, a text from Adrian. Billboard just went live, the one on their route home. I opened the attachment. There it was, 40 feet high, my face, my company, my success. The tagline read, sometimes the biggest dreams come from the smallest rooms. Another buzz. Mom, we get it. You've made your point. Please, can we just talk? I showed Alex the billboard photo. He laughed. Now that's what I call a statement piece. No, I replied, watching through the window as my family left the building. That's what I call justice. The annual Tech Innovation Gala was everything they said it would be. Crystal chandeliers, flowing champagne, and Silicon Valley's finest all in one room. I adjusted my designer dress, a far cry from the hand-me-downs I used to wear. Ready? Adrian appeared beside me, dapper in his tuxedo. Born ready. We entered the ballroom just as the MC announced, and our Rising Star Award goes to Sophia of Memoryscape Designs. The spotlight found me as applause erupted. I made my way to the stage, passing table after table of industry giants who were now my peers. And there, at a table near the front, my family. Mom in a dress that still had the tags on, Dad looking uncomfortable in a rented tux, and Bella, wearing white to someone else's awards ceremony. Thank you, I began, gripping the crystal award. They say success is the best revenge, but I've learned it's actually something else. Success is the best mirror. It shows people exactly what they missed, what they overlooked, what they threw away. The room fell silent. A year ago, I was told I needed to vacate my bedroom for a car club. Today, that same room's photo is on our company's billboard. Funny how life works. Mom dabbed at her eyes with a napkin. But this award isn't about revenge. It's about visibility, about showing every overlooked person that they don't need permission to shine. They just need to believe in themselves when no one else will. The applause was deafening. As I stepped down, Alex intercepted me. The acquisition offer just doubled, he whispered. They want to announce tonight. Before I could respond, Bella appeared. Nice speech, she said, voice dripping with sarcasm. Very subtle. Unlike your dress, at least I earned my spotlight. Ms. Wright, a photographer called out. Family photo? No, I said firmly. No family photos. Sophia, Mom approached, mascara slightly smeared. Please, we're trying. Trying? I laughed. Now that I'm successful, now that I'm winning awards, where was this trying when I needed it? You're being ridiculous, Bella snapped. We're your family. No, I turned to face them fully. You're people who share my DNA. Adrian is family. Alex is family. They believed in me when you were too busy planning Tesla photo shoots. Dad stepped forward. We made mistakes. Mistakes? I cut him off. Let's talk about mistakes. Remember my college graduation? When you left early because Bella had a dance recital? Or my first art show when you didn't show up at all? Or every birthday that became about her somehow? The nearby tables had gone quiet, listening. Those weren't mistakes, I continued. Those were choices, and now you get to live with them. The press is watching, Bella hissed. Good, I smiled. Let them watch. Let them write about how success doesn't just change the person who achieves it, it changes everyone who ignored them on their way up. Alex appeared at my elbow. Time for the announcement? Perfect timing, I nodded. Mom, Dad, Bella, enjoy the rest of your evening. I have a $100 million acquisition to announce. Mom gasped. Dad's glass slipped from his hand, shattering on the floor. 100 million? Bella stammered. Give or take a few million, I shrugged. But don't worry, I won't need to borrow your Tesla anymore. As I walked away, I heard Bella's shrill voice. But what about me? I'm your sister. Don't I get anything? I turned back one last time. You got everything for 24 years. Now it's my turn. The rest of the night passed in a blur of congratulations and champagne toasts. The acquisition announcement made headlines within hours. My phone buzzed constantly with messages from my family. Mom, please, we can fix this. Dad, we're so sorry. We didn't know. Bella, this isn't fair. I'm your sister. At least give me a job or something. I showed the messages to Adrian, who snorted. Some people never learn. No, I agreed, watching my family leave the gala early, heads down. They don't. Later, as the party wound down, Alex found me on the balcony. You know, he said carefully, revenge might feel good now, but this isn't about revenge anymore, I cut him off. This is about justice, about balance, about karma finally catching up. My phone buzzed one final time. A message from Angela. OMG, just heard about the acquisition. I always believed in you. Want to get coffee? I deleted it without responding and looked out over the city lights toward the billboard with my face on it. Ready to go? Adrian asked. Almost, I smiled, raising my champagne glass toward the night sky. I just want to enjoy the view a little longer. After all, I'd earned it. The moving trucks pulled away from my parents' house as I sat in my car, watching. They'd finally sold it, the house where I'd spent 24 years being invisible. The billboard with my face still loomed overhead, a silent witness. My phone buzzed. Adrian. Sure you want to do this? On my way, I texted back. The drive to my new office building took 15 minutes. Not the downtown space we'd started in. This was different. This was the old Carter photography studio where Bella had done her Tesla photo shoot. I'd bought it last week. Mom's car was already in the parking lot. Dad's too. And there was Bella's Tesla, looking slightly less shiny these days. They're inside. Adrian met me at the door. Alex is keeping them calm. I straightened my jacket and walked into what used to be the main studio space. The room where Bella had posed with her car was now filled with framed photos, hundreds of them. Every moment they'd missed, every achievement they'd ignored, all professionally documented and displayed. What is this? Mom whispered, staring at a photo of my empty seat at my art show opening. Memory lane, I said, making them jump. Like what I do with phone cases, but bigger, more personal. These are all... Dad trailed off, looking at a photo of himself reading the newspaper, while I showed him my college acceptance letter. Moments you missed? Yes? I walked to the center of the room. But that's not why you're here. Bella stood in front of a particularly large photo, her Tesla photo shoot, but in the background you could see me through the studio window, working on my first business plan. Why are we here? She asked quietly. Because it's time to end this. I pressed a button. The lights dimmed and new photos illuminated, ones they hadn't seen before. Me at the office, laughing with Adrian, speaking at conferences, helping young entrepreneurs, living, succeeding, thriving. I spent years being angry, I said, watching their faces. Years planning the perfect revenge. And I got it. The success, the money, the recognition. I made you feel as small as you made me feel. Sophia, Mom started. Let me finish. The thing about revenge is it doesn't fill the hole. It just digs new ones. I walked to a covered frame at the end of the room. So this is it. My last act of revenge. Or maybe it's forgiveness. I'm not sure there's a difference anymore. I pulled the cover off. It was a new phone case design, a collage of family photos, both good moments and bad, swirled into something beautiful and painful and real. This is our story, I said. All of it. The favoritism, the neglect, the revenge, the success. I'm releasing it as a limited edition. All proceeds go to a new foundation. What foundation? Dad asked. The Wright Family Foundation for Overlooked Artists, because sometimes the best way to heal old wounds is to prevent new ones. Bella stepped forward. Why are you doing this? Because carrying anger is exhausting. Because success means nothing if you're still fighting old battles. Because I took a deep breath. Because you're still my family, even if we need to redefine what that means. What does it mean? Mom's voice cracked. It means no more pretending, no more perfect family photos. We're messy and broken and real. Take it or leave it. And if we take it, Dad asked, then we start over. Not as the perfect family, but as people who acknowledge their mistakes and try to do better. Bella touched the phone case design. Even me? Even you, but on equal footing this time. No pedestals, no shadows. I turned to leave, then stopped. Oh, and Bella? The Tesla Club called. They're looking for a new meeting space since the house sold. I hear there's a room available here. You'd let me use the space? Yes, because that's what family does when they're ready to do it right. Mom was crying openly now. Dad looked years older. Bella just stared at the phone case. Take your time, I said. Look at the photos. Really look at them. Then decide if you're ready for what comes next. Adrian waited by the door. You okay? No, I smiled, but I will be. My phone buzzed. Alex. New York Times wants to cover the foundation launch. Ready? I looked back at my family, still moving through the gallery of moments. The missed ones, the painful ones, and now maybe the healing ones. Tell them yes, I replied, but make sure they understand. This isn't a story about revenge anymore. What is it about? Adrian asked. Through the window, I could see my billboard starting to come down, making way for something new. It's about what happens after revenge, I said. When you finally let yourself be seen, not as who they made you, but as who you chose to become.